Today, I will share with you the 4 AI tools that I use on a regular basis to enhance my spoken English. I am sure you people are already aware of all these 4 AI tools that I am going to share with you today. And some of you are actively using them on an everyday basis, like me. Anyway, you just listen to me because here we are going to have a detailed discussion on all these 4 AI tools. Also, I will be telling you how exactly I use them in my English learning. So hear me out. I promise there is something to learn from this video. So stay tuned until the end. Let's start. The first AI tool is Google Translate. Yeah. Who else doesn't know about Google Translate, right? Everybody knows about it. You can download it directly from the Play Store or else you can use it as a website on your laptop. I use it in both ways, okay? So now I will show you how I use this AI tool in my English learning. How I use this Google Translate in my English learning. See, I have already got it installed on my phone. I have already installed this Google Translate on my phone. I have also configured the 2 languages for which I frequently need translation, Malayalam and English. You can configure whichever language you want. I mean the language you are translating from and the language you are translating to. The source language and the target language. Source language and the target language. Yeah, that would be the easiest way to say that. So you can configure whichever language you want. You can even switch the languages based on your needs. For example, if you need to translate some sentences from your mother tongue to English, then you can switch the languages accordingly and vice versa. Okay, now I will show you how I use this. Whenever I struggle to translate some sentences from my mother tongue to English, then I always take help from this Google Translate. I mostly use this mic, which is right here between these 2 languages, to get the translation. So now I will show you a demo. I'm going to speak something in my mother tongue, Malayalam, over this mic to get it translated to English. Okay, here is the demo. Okay, so now you see I'm going to say something in my mother tongue by clicking on this mic. See, I said something in my mother tongue and I got its English translation in a matter of seconds. Now I will show you another method to get the translation. Just click over here on this icon and then you will get an interface like this. Let me write something here in my mother tongue. Wow, I got the translation. So whenever I need translation, either I speak over the mic or I write down and get things translated as I have just shown. The next feature I mostly use on Google Translate is copy and paste. If I am unable to understand certain English texts in some documents, articles or websites, I copy and paste them on Google Translate and get the Malayalam translation for my better understanding. But in some situations, if it is not possible to copy the text, then I will make use of this camera feature, which is over here. The moment we point the phone's camera at the text, the translation will get done into whichever language we choose. You can even upload the images from the gallery and get the translation done. Now, when it comes to using Google Translate on our laptop, we can use it in the same way as on our phone. But the only difference is that there is no camera facility. Instead, you can upload the images and documents from your PC and get them translated. There is also an option here to paste the URL and get the entire website translated. But the problem with Google Translate is that the translation cannot always be accurate. It gives only the literal translation from one language to another. It cannot detect idioms, slang, and proverbs. So it gives only the word-to-word translation from one language to another. And that will lead to some misunderstandings. So the translation done by Google Translate is likely to have some mistakes. So I would say that you don't blindly believe in Google Translate when it comes to your English learning. But of course, it can give us a basic idea. Google Translate can give us a basic idea of how to translate sentences from our mother tongue to English and how the sentences are structured in English. But that's not enough, right? We need to learn it the correct way. So instead of solely depending on Google Translate, what I do is, after having translated something from my mother tongue to English, I always take help from online grammar checkers to check whether the sentence has any grammatical issues or not. And that brings me to the second AI tool on my list, and that is Quillbot Grammar Checker. There are many online grammar checkers available, but I personally prefer to use this Quillbot Grammar Checker to correct my grammar mistakes. Just like Google Translate, we can use this Quillbot Grammar Checker both on our phone and laptop. Now I will show you how I use this. I have already installed this Quillbot on my phone. Now I will show you how I use this.
This is the interface of Quillbot. Here we can see many options, but we want to select this grammar checker option here. Now I am going to write something here. See, it gives us some suggestions to correct our mistakes. It also checks the punctuation and our spelling mistakes too. Let's fix this by clicking over here. Yeah, that got fixed. So this is how I use Quillbot to correct my mistakes.
Quillbot is very helpful for writers, but it is equally helpful for English learners too. I always take help from Quillbot to correct my grammar mistakes. But the problem with Quillbot is that it overcorrects everything. Even if our sentence is correct, it gives us the suggestions to correct that sentence by showing some red lines under whatever we have written. In that situation, we feel very discouraged. We lose all our confidence and we may feel like, oh my god, am I that bad at English? We may feel like that. But see, there is nothing to worry. In my case, I used to feel very discouraged seeing all those red lines under the sentences I write, especially during the initial days when I started using this Quillbot. But later, I realized that it is programmed in a certain way, right? It has its rules and algorithms. It has to follow that. So after all these days of using Quillbot, I observed that it is programmed to accept only the formal style of English. It accepts only the formal style of English. If I am writing something in a more casual or informal way, then it may throw some errors and give suggestions to correct that sentence. So it is very helpful for writers. Quillbot is very helpful for writers because it helps them to correct their grammar mistakes before uploading their official written content to a blog or somewhere else. Okay, so anyway, this one particular AI tool called Quillbot has turned into one of my favorite companions in my English learning. I make use of almost all its features whenever I practice speaking English alone. While speaking, if I feel that there is some mistakes in the sentences I speak, then I go on to Quillbot and correct my mistakes. But as I said before, Quillbot has one problem. It overcorrects everything. Even if my sentence is correct, it gives suggestions to correct that sentence and totally confuses me. In that situation, what I do is I immediately go on to ask my another AI companion in my English learning. And that is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the third AI tool on my list today. I will show you how ChatGPT clarifies my doubts and saves me from all sorts of confusion.
Okay, now let's see how ChatGPT is going to help us. For that, let's start with Quillbot. First, let me write something here. Okay. I have written something. But see, Quillbot is telling me to correct this sentence. Okay, let's fix this by clicking it over here. fix all errors. Yeah, it got fixed. But what is wrong with my sentence? I think my sentence was correct. Okay, let's ask ChatGPT. Let's copy this from here and paste it on ChatGPT and ask which sentence is grammatically correct. See, ChatGPT says both sentences are grammatically correct. But the first one is more commonly used and sounds more natural. But both are grammatically correct.
So this is how ChatGPT clarifies my doubts with detailed explanation. But if we don't understand the concept in one explanation, then we have all the freedom to ask the questions over and over again.
We can ask like, I didn't understand. Just melt the heart of ChatGPT, then it will make you understand in a simple way. You can ask whatever doubts you have to ChatGPT. You can even ask the questions again and again until you understand.
So this is how ChatGPT helps me with my English learning. But in some cases, ChatGPT cannot clarify my doubts. But then I don't give up. I go and seek help from my another AI companion, and that is Google Bot.
But compared to ChatGPT, Google Bard has a more user friendly interface. It has options for capturing and uploading images and documents. It also has the mic facility to receive input from the user, which ChatGPT doesn't have.
I personally noticed that Google Bard has more detailed and updated information than ChatGPT. But I use both. I take help from all these four AI tools. I don't rely on one AI tool. I take help from all these AI tools for my English learning. The best part is that all these four AI tools are free to use. You don't need to pay a single penny to use their services. Google Translate is absolutely free to use, whereas the other three also have premium subscriptions. I mean, paid subscription. But even if you are not a paid subscriber, you can use these tools with their limited features. And I would say that those limited features are enough to help us with our English learning. Now, last but not least, I would like to tell you that if you are an English learner, especially in the beginning phase of your English learning, then you must use these AI tools in your English learning. Although they have some accuracy issues at some times, they can guide you with your English learning to a very good extent. Okay, I'm telling this from my personal experience because I myself use all these four AI tools on a daily basis. Google Translate helps us with translation. Quillbot corrects our grammar mistakes. ChatGPT and Google Bard clarify all our doubts. So be friends with these AI tools. Meet them every day. Ask help from them and learn from them. If you do that, the progress will soon reflect on your spoken and written English as well. Okay, I hope that I delivered something very valuable in this video. And if you think so, please give it a like and stay connected with me by subscribing to my channel. Also, please suggest to me some AI tools that you people use for your English learning. Bye.